What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. I am coming at y'all barefaced today because we are going to be trying on all the products that I picked up during the Sephora savings event. I do actually already have a haul video up on my channel featuring all these products, so if you missed that video, it will be linked down below in the description box in case you want to check it out. And I did also place a second order as well with the last few things that were on my wish list, so whenever that order gets here, we will definitely be trying on all those products as well. But everything sitting here in front of me, I have already dabbled into, so while this isn't going to be a first impressions video, it's not going to be my final thoughts either. I want to continue testing these out, but I will get back to you with those final thoughts in a future speed reviews video. But everything will be linked and listed down below in that description box for y'all. So per usual, if you're ever curious about anything I use in any of my videos here on my channel, always check the description box because I squeeze as much information as I possibly can into that tiny little space. But without further ado, we are going to zoom in, get my hair out of my face, and get this party started. Alright, y'all, so I'm going to go ahead and prime my face with the new One Size B12 Base Thinner. This is not a new to me product. I have already used it. I'm very familiar with it. It has already been a speed reviews video, but it is still pretty new to the market. It is available at Sephora, so if you're interested in it, you can get 10, 15, 20% off depending on your tier. But I'm going to go ahead and use this as a primer today instead of mixing it in with the foundation that we're going to use. I do want to try it that way, just not in today's video. But I apologize that this did not go up any sooner than it did. It has been quite the week for me. It's been very busy. We've had a lot going on, and I decided to just take yesterday, which was Saturday, as a day to myself to just kind of relax, have a little R&R. I read, I caught up on some YouTube. I watched Wicked. I had never seen it before, so that was really exciting. It was such a fantastic movie. Honestly, it moved just a little bit slow, but the ending, oh my gosh, the ending was incredible and 100% worth it. But this is what the B12 Base Thinner looks like on my skin as a primer. It does have a really pretty glow to it. It almost looks like it has a little bit of like mica glitters in it. It doesn't look like glitter on the skin, but it is nice and glowy, and this does mix into foundations absolutely beautifully as well. If you have one that's a little bit thicker in consistency, a little bit more full coverage, a little bit more matte, and you just want to thin out that formula a little bit, this does beautifully for that. So for foundation, we are going to go in with the One Size Turn Up the Base Full Beat Liquid Foundation. I got mine in the shade Fair 15, which is fair with a rosy undertone, and this is actually the third time that I've used it. The first time that I used it, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I went in with my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer and then used it with a brush, and it was very full coverage. It did look beautiful on my skin, but it was just a little too much. If you are new here, I am 39 years old. I live in a very hot, humid climate. I have normal, dry leaning skin. Generally, I prefer a light to medium coverage foundation, and I want something that's going to have more of a natural skin-like finish to it. So this is just not something that I would typically go for, but with it getting closer to summer, it gets very hot, very humid, and this intrigued me because I thought it would be something that would hold up really nice during the summer. So with that being said, the first time that I used this foundation, I wasn't a huge fan of the way that my skin looked at the end of the day. It looked a little heavy, it looked a little makeup-y, and it kind of settled a little bit. So the second time that I used it, I went in with a more hydrating base. I went in with my Chantecaille Sheer Glow Rose Face Tint, I believe is what it's called, and then I applied it with a sponge, and I love the way that this looks on my skin. It is incredibly beautiful. It is very long wearing. I don't feel like it ever looks dry or cakey on my skin, and when I apply it with a sponge, it thins out the consistency just a little bit, that I get more of a medium buildable coverage. I can build it up if I need to, but I still have a little bit of my redness poking through. You can see my freckles. This little sunspot over here does kind of poke through, but it is a gorgeous formula. So if you have more like oily combination skin, I think you're really going to love this foundation. But if you have super dry skin, I personally wouldn't recommend it. I could be wrong. If you have dry skin and you have this foundation and you've had a good experience with it, or even a bad experience, let us know down below. But just in my personal opinion, I don't think this is going to be the best for dry skin. But for me, surprisingly, I really love the way this looks on my skin, and I'm excited to try it out mixed in with the B12 Base Thinner. Like I said, I haven't done that yet. So whenever we do round 2 of my Sephora haul, I'm definitely gonna have to try it that way. Now for concealer, I don't have anything new sitting here in front of me, but I did end up ordering the Kulfi concealer and I'm really excited about that, but I figured we'll just go in with two of my favorites at Sephora. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the Cali Ray Hideaway Serum Concealer. This is an absolute favorite of mine. It's more of a color corrector concealer combination. I can get away with using this on its own as a concealer if I want some lighter coverage. I have mine in the shade Dawn and this is such a beautiful product. I have raved about it over and over. It's a top favorite product of mine and I just love the way that it looks and feels under my eyes. But I am going to combine that with the Natasha Denona High Glam Serum Concealer. I have mine in the shade N1 and I like to use this to kind of mix in to give me a little bit more coverage, take down the brightening just a little bit. This is a concealer that is definitely less is more. I find if I put too much of it on, it can look a little cakey, a little heavy, and it can kind of sink into the lines under my eyes. So I love to use it as a mix-in. I like it with this one. I also love it with the Gucci concealer as well, which is another favorite of mine. I also really enjoy the Westman Atelier concealer as well. So before we go ahead and set this face with powder, I do have one cream product to use, and that's the newest contour stick from Anastasia Beverly Hills. So this is the Smooth Blur Contour Stick. I picked mine up in the shade Half Tone, which is the lightest one in the line, and I have really been enjoying this formula. It's very easy to use. It's pigmented, but it's not overly pigmented. I find that it blends into my skin beautifully, but I will say this is not a true contour shade. It definitely has more of a neutral undertone to it, which is perfect if you're someone who, like me, who likes to do more of a bronze tour moment. But if you want something that's truly going to chisel out the cheeks, I just don't think this is going to be the perfect undertone for it. But the way that I like to use it is I like to pick it up straight from the component and just put it on my cheeks. So I'm going to go in with this Makeup by Mario F4 brush, and this is something that I did pick up during my original haul. I don't know what I was thinking. I completely forgot about it, and when I was going back and editing that video, I realized that they forgot to include this in my bag, so I had to go up to the store and pick it up. And when I did, I picked up a couple of Patrick Ta brushes as well, which we will use in this video. And I also ended up getting my Westman Atelier blush duo that I had mentioned. They had it in store, so I snagged that as well. I don't know if we're going to get to that one in this video. We'll probably use it in round 2, but I did want to mention that I got those as well. But this is just a really, really pretty cream formula. Like I said, it melts into the skin nicely, but you can see on my fair cool undertones, it definitely has a little bit more warmth to it than a true contour product would. But also, like I said, I'm not really into contouring. I'm into more of a bronze tour moment. So I'm also going to do a little contouring right here on the side of my nose with one of the brushes that I picked up from Patrick Ta. So this is the Pro Contour 3 brush. It's a double-ended brush. So it has this really cool sort of fan style brush over here, and this one over here that looks like a crease brush, so you can use it for a little bit of everything. So I like to just kind of paint it on right down the side of my nose and kind of bring it right here, like true contour style. I always bronze up my nose anyway, so I'm just kind of doing it this way, and then I'll flip the brush over and go in with this side and just kind of blur it out and soften it just a little bit. I really like this brush. It's doing what I want it to do. I like to have something a little thinner when I want to put a little bit of warmth or contour on my nose. It just really helps out with the sculpting aspect of it. Y'all, I am so sorry. I realized I completely glossed over the Makeup by Mario brush and just moved on to the one from Patrick Ta, but let's back it up for just a second. So this is the F4 brush. It's a dual-ended brush. I love a dual-ended brush, especially for complexion. So it has a smaller side and it has a bigger side, very reminiscent of the BK Beauty 109, which is an absolute favorite of mine, and I have really been enjoying this brush. I like it for my cream products, so bronzer, contour, blush, and highlighter. It has held up really well. I have washed it about 3 times at this point. Haven't had any shedding, nothing has fallen apart. It still performs beautifully. It is holding the shape. I am really enjoying this brush. But let's move on to powder. So we do have some options, and I think we're gonna go in with the Givenchy Prism Libre powder. This was one that I mentioned in my haul, but I didn't have in my hands yet because it did have to be shipped to me, and I am really excited about this powder. I loved the original loose version of this powder, but as you know, they reformulated it. It has a little bit of mica in it. It is very very shimmery. I say very shimmery. It is pretty much a loose highlighter all over the skin. So this is supposed to be Givenchy's redemption product. This is supposed to be there. We are bringing back what you love in a pressed formula, and I think that they did a really good job with it. I don't think it's the exact same. I do still want to do a side-by-side comparison with the two powders because I do have the original one in my collection, but I find this one to be just a little bit softer. I don't find it to be quite as heavy duty as the original one. That one is still very lightweight on the skin, but I find this to be a little more lightweight on the skin. So if you have really oily skin, I don't know if this is going to keep you mattified and secured all day, but it does look beautiful under the eyes. It looks beautiful on the face, but let's get into applying this instead of sitting here chatting about it. So I picked mine up in the shade Mussolini Pastel. It is the lightest one in the line. It does have this little brush in here. I haven't used it yet, so maybe we'll use it today. But this is what the shade looks like. So this is supposed to be for fair to light skin tones, which hello is me to a T. So we're gonna go ahead and actually try this with the brush. I'm gonna put it under my eyes first, if I can get this little brush out. Okay, so this is the brush right here. This is actually a pretty nice brush. I'm not usually a big fan of the applicators that come in luxury products, but I'm just gonna go ahead and go side to side and then up and down, coat it really well. This is heavily fragranced. I do want to mention that. I'm just going to go ahead and set my under eyes. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this, so we're going to go in with something else. I'm just not a big fan of that. So I'm going to go in with this brush right here from Sigma. This is a Kristen Dominique, what are you called? A setting powder brush. I don't know if these are still available on the Sigma website, but I did really enjoy this collection. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set my one half of my face over here. I prefer to set with a brush versus a poof, except for under my eyes, just because I like something a little bit lighter. But I'm gonna set the other half with a velour sponge so we can see what the difference is. But this is definitely nice and blurring. It looks very natural on the skin. It's not super mattifying. It doesn't look dry or cakey, so I definitely think they did a good job, and I love that they listened to the consumer and brought us something that we wanted. All right, so this is the one half of my face set with the powder. You can see it still looks very healthy, very natural, but everything is kind of set down. But we're gonna go ahead and set the other half of my face with a little velour poof. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of everything, kind of swirl it around in there, press it in, and then we're just gonna go ahead and set this half of my face. Now I feel like I'm gonna get a little bit more, I don't wanna say coverage, but I feel like it's gonna give me a little bit more if I go in with the sponge, which is fine with some powders, but not every single one of them. Yeah, it's definitely giving me more kind of a mattified moment. It's giving me a little bit more of a blurred moment going in that way. So not my preferred method, but if you're a little bit more on that combo side, this is probably going to work out really well for you. So for bronzer, we have this one from Laura Mercier. This is the Bronze Color Infusion. I picked mine up in the lightest shade, which is 20 Maricel, I believe is how that is pronounced. And this is a matte bronzer and a glowy bronzer. Personally, I find this to be too sparkly to wear it on its own. It would be beautiful as a bronzer topper. I do like it mixed in with this one over here, or if you have a deeper skin tone than I do, it would make a really pretty highlighter. But again, if you have a deeper skin tone than me, this is probably not the color option that you would go with for this bronzer duo. But let me show you what it looks like swatched out. So that is what it looks like, and you can see it is like a highlighter. It is so glowy. Even in the height of summer, I don't want anything that glowy on the perimeter of my face to add in a little bit of color. So I kind of wish that they had given us an option, or maybe just brought us one or the other, because for me personally, I don't think I really need both of them. But the formula is great. It does go on really nicely. It melts into the skin. It's very buildable, and I do really enjoy it. But I'm going to go ahead and go in with a combo of the two. So I just kind of put my brush in the whole thing, swirl it up a little bit, tap it off, and we're just going to add a little bit of color to the perimeter of my face. So whenever I mix it in, kind of a little bit more of the matte bronzer and then a little bit of the glowy bronzer, it does add a really pretty sheen. I just can't do the glow on its own, because you see, even mixed in, that is very glowy. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more of the matte, tone it down just a little bit, and I'm just going to apply this to my face. So now that my face is set with powder, I want to put something on my lips to give me a little bit of hydration. So I'm going to go in with this honey infused lip oil from Xoxo. I have been loving this. I have mine in the shade Raspberry Swirl, and this is gorgeous. It is so shiny and reflective on the lips, very hydrating. It has a really nice fruity smell to it. I have been loving this. It is quickly becoming a favorite lip oil in my collection. I have not tried every single one. There are several that I haven't tried, but out of the ones that I have, I love this. It's not super sticky. It's not so thin where you feel like it's doing nothing and it just kind of dissipates off of your lips. It really hangs around for a little bit, and I like the smell of it. I like the light sort of color that it has to it. Gorgeous, gorgeous lip oil. Really, really enjoying this one. But let's go ahead and move on to blush, because we definitely have several options. And I think for today, we're going to go in with the Tower 28 on one cheek and probably the Fenty on the other cheek. We're going to look a little wild, but it's okay. I don't have anywhere to go, so I'm not really worried about it. I did also pick up this little guy from Charlotte Tilbury, and I have used it. I love this. Let me just say, I would love to see this powder released like on its own and just an individual compact, because this is limited edition. So once you run out of this, if you absolutely love it, you can't get it again. But the powder is absolutely beautiful. The blush is beautiful as well. It is very pigmented, but I really enjoy combining the two together and kind of buffing them on my cheeks to give me a little bit of a lighter cheek moment. This is also beautiful to set my under eyes as well. So we'll definitely use that in a different video, but like I said, today I want to go in with the Tower 28 and the Fenty blushes because I'm really excited about these, and I have used the one from Tower 28. Gorgeous neutral everyday blush. I love the formula. It's pigmented, but it's not overly pigmented, and it does work over and under powder. So if you're someone who doesn't like to powder your entire face, but you still like a powder blush, this is beautiful. I picked mine up in the shade Long Beach Iced Tea, and I'm going to go in with the other brush that I picked up from Patrick Ta. This is actually another face contour brush, but I love this for blush, and that's what I've been using it for. So I'm just going to go in to my little blush right here and just kind of press it right here on my cheeks. And then once I have that color built up, I can go back and sort of buff it out. I have not used this end of the brush yet. It's supposed to kind of get in there and contour. I will use it eventually, I just haven't yet. But look at how beautiful that is. It definitely has a little bit of a glow to it. It's supposed to be a matte blush, but I don't find it to be a flat matte blush. It definitely has a little something to it. Let me know if you have that same experience. It could be that bronzer that I have underneath, but I think it has a really pretty glow to it. I like the pigmentation. It lasts all day. It doesn't fade. It's not patchy. It's buildable. And this shade is absolutely beautiful. But let's go in with the one from Fenty because I'm really excited to try this one out. I'm a little nervous at the same time because this is super, super pigmented. So let me find a clean blush brush and we'll apply this to the cheeks. All right, so let's apply this to the cheeks and see what it does. This is very, very pigmented and I am very fair, so I'm a little intimidated by this, but I'm just going to very softly build it up on my cheek over here. Oh, that is gorgeous. Very pigmented. A little bit goes a long way if you have a lighter skin tone, but if you have a deeper skin tone, this is absolutely beautiful. These keep coming in and out of stock at Sephora, so if you're interested in it, I would definitely sign up for the restock notifications. As this moment when I'm sitting down to film this, it is still available on the Fenty website, and it's kind of the same thing with the Charlotte Tilbury compact as well. This has gone out of stock almost immediately, and I haven't seen this come back in stock at Sephora, but it is still in stock on the Charlotte Tilbury website and Nordstrom, so I will try and link some of these products in other places if they're no longer available at Sephora and you just want to get your hands on it despite there being a sale. But this is very, very pretty. You definitely don't need a highlighter with this, and it works really well for my fair skin. Like I said, I was really intimidated and afraid that this was just going to be too dark for me, but with a light hand, that is absolutely beautiful and something I can really get on board with this summer. All right, y'all, so I went ahead and did my brows off camera because I don't have any new brow products to share with y'all. But moving on to the eyes, I do have one of the Armani Beauty liquid eyeshadows. I picked mine up in the shade 18M, and y'all, this has been a saving grace for me during the week. It has been a very busy week. I haven't had a whole lot of time to get ready in the morning, and this has just been wonderful. Super easy. It lasts all day. It's very easy to work with. It dries down. I don't experience creasing. I don't experience fading, and I don't have to prime my eyes before I use it as well. I have very oily eyelids, and 90% of the time I have to prime my eyes for anything to stay put, and I don't have to do that with this. So mine is in the shade 18M, which I believe is beige, and there is one a little bit darker than this I do want to pick up, but it has been out of stock. This one is very close to my skin tone. It has just a little bit of color, a little bit of evenness, but I would like something just a little bit deeper if I want to do something just a little bit more dramatic. But that is the shade right there. So we're going to go ahead and apply these to the lid. So what I like to do is just kind of spread it all over my lid with a good little amount. And then once I have it down, you can either go in with your finger or you can go in with your brush. I like to go in with a blending brush, and I just go right along the edge and kind of blend it up towards my brow bone, soften everything out a little bit, and just make sure that it's not clinging to any places, it's not gloopy. We have a nice even coverage, and that is what it looks like. So you can see it's very close to my skin tone. It doesn't quite give me the contrast that I want. So as soon as that other shade is in stock, I will pick it up. I believe it's called Sable or something like that, but I have really been enjoying this formula, and I have quickly added more to my Sephora loves list. So now that I have that down, what I like to do is go in with one of my single shadows and just top it all over the lid to give me a little bit of sparkle. So we're gonna go in with Space Cowboy from Urban Decay, an OG classic. So I'm just going to pick a little bit up with my finger and just tap it right over my lid. I don't feel like I need to go in with a glitter primer or anything to kind of secure this in place, but look at how quick and easy and beautiful that is. Pair it with a little liner, a little mascara, and you are good to go. I am not going to put on any liner and mascara today. I've got something going on with my right eye over here. It's not a sty or anything like that. I've looked and made sure, but it feels like I either hit my eye or scratched my eye or something is going on. So I don't want to put on any liner or mascara because that's going to be a little bit more difficult for me to wash off, whereas this will be pretty easy. But I'm definitely going to be calling the eye doctor in the morning and see if I can get in, because I don't play around when it comes to my eyes. I have very sensitive eyes. I have horrible vision, and I don't want anything to impede that any further. So you just kind of have to imagine this with a little bit of liner, a little bit of mascara, just perfect for every single day. But let's move on to lips, because we do have one more lip product to try on, and it is the only thing in this entire haul aside from the Fenty blush that we use that I have not tried yet, and it's another Fenty product. It's this gloss bomb right here. I got mine in the shade Blazed Donut, and I am so excited about this. I've heard so many people rave about this formula, how beautiful it is. I absolutely love this shade. So I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips really quick with my Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in the shade Pillow Talk Fair, which is a holy grail for me. You can see how small mine is. I should have ordered another one and I didn't, but that's okay. Okay, so lips are lined, but really quick, I wanted to swatch this on my hands so you could see what the shade looks like. I love these more cool tone, rosy, neutral leaning shades. My perfect kind of shade that I like to wear for every single day. But let's throw this on the lips and see what the formula, consistency, shine, opacity, and all of that is going to be like. All right, first impression, I love it. It's very comfortable on the lips. It's hydrating. It's not overly thick and goopy on my lips. I'm not getting that stringy thing whenever I open and close my mouth. I love the shade. I love the opacity of it. This is a fantastic formula and one that I'm really excited about, and one that I wish that I had picked up a whole lot sooner. But here we are. It is what it is. I can't try everything right when it comes out, but I lied. I do have one more product to play with today, and it is the newest setting spray from Huda Beauty. This is the Easy Bake setting spray, and this is supposed to have some of her setting powder kind of infused into it. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's okay, it works, it does its job, but it can be a little bit finicky. So you definitely want to give this a really good shake before you use it, because I've noticed that if you don't, the powder can kind of settle and it can definitely kind of look a little blotchy on the face. Also, I would suggest going in light-handed with this. You don't want to go in too heavy-handed. I am someone who likes to drench my entire face and just kind of let it soak in so everything can mesh together. But I've noticed the more of this I put on, I start to get those little water droplets on my face. I can go in with a poof and kind of press it in and rectify the situation. But if I don't do it fast enough, it can be a big mess. So I'm still kind of playing this one and figuring it out just to see how I actually feel about it. But we're going to go ahead and throw a little bit on to finish off this look, and then we will close out the video. So y'all see how that looks just a little bit splotchy right here? Like it definitely kind of grabbed a little bit. Not a huge deal if I go in with a little poof. I can kind of press it in. But like I said, you have to catch it pretty quickly. Otherwise, it will stay there and you'll see those little spots all day. So again, like I said, not my favorite. Don't love it. Don't hate it. Still kind of figuring it out. All right, y'all, so this is our completed look. What do we think? I think it turned out beautifully. Overall, I am really enjoying all these products I picked up. Yes, there are some things I love more than others, but I don't think that there is a dud product in this bunch. I do still need to keep testing them out, getting to know them and using them in different ways, but I will keep you posted in a future speed reviews video, so make sure that you are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss that one. I'm sure it will be going up in the next couple of weeks or so, but let me know all of your thoughts down below. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, if you shopped the sale, what you picked up, what is still on your wish list. I want to know it all. Let's have that conversation. Light up that comment section. And as always, I want to thank you all so much for watching my video and spending your time with me. It truly does mean so much to me. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that notification bell so that you can be notified of all my future posts here on my channel. And until my next video, have a good one. Bye.